Welcome back to the deep dive. It's September 19th, and well, it's that time of year, isn't it? The season shifts, and maybe you find yourself reflecting a bit more, looking at where life's heading.
Absolutely. It's a natural pause point.
And that's kind of what we're doing today. Our deep dive is all about architecture, but not buildings. We're talking about the architecture of like self-worth, resilience.
Yeah, how you build a life that holds up.
Exactly. We've got the stack of sources. Looks kind of random, actually. Ancient Stoics, modern management gurus.
Right, from Marcus Aurelius to Peter Drucker.
Yeah. And we're pulling it all together to find some, real wisdom about living a full life, something that goes, well, beyond competition.
And what's really interesting is how they all point towards a similar roadmap. It's about stability in a world that feels anything but stable sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
We're decoding how to build multiple identity anchors. So your success, your sense of self, isn't just tied to, say, your job title.
Right. Not just professional wins.
We're pulling from Drucker, as you said, Aurelius, even people like Tony Robbins, Tom Brady. It's quite a mix. But the core idea, rely on just one pillar, one identity. Eventually, it's going to wobble, or worse.
Okay. And we promise we're going to give you the good stuff, quick and thorough, get right to the insights without, drowning you in info.
Get straight to it.
So let's dive in. First, the problem. We're calling it the competitive trap. Got to understand the stakes before we get to the solutions. And this is where Peter Drucker is just fascinating.
Oh, absolutely. A real visionary.
He noticed something like decades ago about knowledge workers, managers, teachers, doctors, researchers, smart, successful people.
The core of the modern workforce, really.
Right. And he saw them hitting this wall, plateauing, often like in their early 40s.
And Drucker saw this pattern forming way back.
Oh.
He actually talked about it in the context of what he called the next society. He basically said, look, if these high achievers, these knowledge workers, build their entire sense of self around just their career.
Just that one track.
Yeah. And then they hit that plateau, that ceiling.
Oh.
Maybe they get passed over for promotion. Maybe the path just kind of ends. Drucker's words were blunt. They are in trouble.
Wow.
In trouble.
Yeah. And he didn't see it as like a personal failing.
Yeah.
He saw it as a predictable outcome, a structural problem if your life is optimized for just that one competitive game.
Okay, let's make that really concrete.
Yep.
The sources give this great example. The engineer. He's super competent. He's 42 years old.
Yep. Knows their stuff.
But they get passed over for promotion. Maybe he goes to someone younger, maybe cheaper, maybe the next rung just isn't there for them.
Happens all the time.
So their career stalls.
Mm.
And if everything, their purpose, their community, their value was tied up in that climb.
Poof. It's not just a bad day at the office.
No, it's an identity crisis, total vulnerability.
And that constant pressure in the competitive arena, to always be winning, always proving yourself, it makes that plateau feel like you failed, even if it's just how corporations work.
Right. It feels personal even when it's structural.
Yeah.
That specific vulnerability, that's what Drucker wanted to fix.
Okay, so that's the danger zone. How do you avoid it? Which I guess brings us to the solution. Building multiple anchors.
Exactly. And Drucker's idea here is, it's actually quite simple, but pretty revolutionary for his time, when work was everything for many professionals.
So what did he suggest?
He said, knowledge workers must develop, and this is key, a non-competitive life and community of their own. And they need a serious outside interest, something meaningful.
Non-competitive, that's the key word.
Yes. And ideally, start this while you're young, before you even get near that potential plateau.
Okay. Why non-competitive, though? Couldn't the engineer just, take a marathon running? That's an outside interest.
But that could easily become another competitive arena, right? You're still measuring yourself against the clock, against others.
Good point. So it's not just any activity.
No. Drucker stressed finding a new community and a purpose that's about contribution, not winning. So back to the engineer. Let's say work feels stalled, frustrating.
Yeah, feeling like a failure there.
But maybe they become the treasurer at their local church or volunteer coordinator for a charity. Suddenly, they find real success, real validation through service, through stewardship.
Ah, I see. The success isn't measured by beating someone else.
Exactly. It's measured by the trust people place in you, the stability you bring. That kind of achievement gives you this psychological ballast. It anchors you when the professional seas get rough.
That completely reframes ambition, doesn't it? It's not just about what can I get or who can I beat.
Spot on. It shifts to internal development, service. Tony Robbins nails this, that broader idea. He says, the purpose of life is not to get, but to become and to share it with others.
Become and share, not get and win.
If your focus is on becoming, growing, contributing, building character, you're naturally buffered from the ups and downs of purely external results.
There is this amazing analogy in the source material, too, about shifting away from that controlling, competitive mindset. Edward Hoagland.
Oh yeah, the dog analogy. It's
Yeah.
brilliant.
He said, basically, if you really want to enjoy a dog, you have to be open to becoming partly a dog yourself.
Right. Not just training the dog to be
Yeah.
like a furry little human who follows commands perfectly.
Exactly. It's about transformation, acceptance,
Yeah.
the total opposite of trying to dominate or optimize everything.
It's about letting the world or the community or even the dog kind of change you, not just imposing your will all the time. It's surrender, but like you said, not weakness. It's openness.
Okay, so if we let go of that need to dominate externally, where does real strength come from? It has to be internal, right?
Mhm.
But lots of people think strength means being rigid, unbending, like iron. But Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, he had a totally different take.
A really powerful counterpoint. He talks about flexibility of the will.
Flexibility of the will, what does that mean exactly?
Well, Aurelius basically argued that changing your mind or, listening to someone who corrects you because they have better information, that's actually a sign of freedom, of free will.
Interesting. Not weakness, but freedom.
Right. Because it takes intelligence and judgment to say, okay, new facts, time to adjust. He warned that if you just barrel ahead, stuck in your ways because of pride or ego, you're no better than a robot, just executing old programming, regardless of the current reality.
Yeah, a robot. That really lands. Because rigidity makes you fragile, doesn't it? In a complex world, it's a liability.
Totally. Flexibility is the real strength.
Yeah.
It lets you adapt, learn, become resilient, unstoppable even. There's that African proverb, too.
Oh, right. If you close your eyes to facts,
So
you will learn through accidents. And
Yeah.
nobody wants to learn through accidents. That's usually painful and way too late.
true.
And you see this flexible, almost anti-ego approach, even in hyper-competitive fields today. Think about Tom Brady, his formula for staying on top for so long.
Yeah. What was it?
Sounds almost too simple. Find out what's good. Find out what's bad. Do more good and less bad.
Okay. That does sound simple. How is that flexible strength, though? Isn't that just like common sense? It is common sense, but the strength lies in the doing of it consistently. It requires brutal self-honesty, constant observation.
Okay. You have to be willing to see the bad, even if it was your idea.
Exactly. You have to ditch the ego defense, the need to justify why you did the bad thing. Just observe the result. Was it good? Do more. Was it bad? Do less. Adjust.
So it's results-driven, not ego-driven. You follow the data, not your pride.
Precisely. That's the flexibility in action.
Okay, shifting gears a bit. If competitive life demands that kind of clinical focus, sometimes other really important things get lost, right? The sources talk about these lost arts, like honesty.
Yeah, Mark Twain, he called honesty the best of lost arts.
Lost.
Well, think about those competitive environments again. Huge pressure to look perfect, flawless, never admit you're struggling or unsure.
Right, project confidence at all costs.
But that constant performance, that image management, it's exhausting. And worse, Twain saw that it isolates you. You can't build real community, that Drucker-style anchor, if you can't be real with people.
So the need to perform competitively undermines the ability to connect authentically.
Exactly. If you can't be honest about struggles, you don't get real support. If you don't have that support network. Well, back to Drucker's in trouble scenario, when the career hits a bump, it's a cycle.
Okay, so how do we bring honesty back, especially when it feels risky?
The sources offer a really practical tool here, the THINK framework. It's about being honest, yes, but with both courage and compassion.
THINK. Okay, what does that stand for?
Before you speak, especially about something difficult, ask, is it true? Is it helpful? Is it inspiring? Is it necessary? And is it kind?
True. Helpful, inspiring, necessary kind. That's a great filter. How does the competitive mindset mess those up?
Well, in a purely competitive mode, the goal is often advantage, right? Or protecting status. So helpful might go out the window if helping a rival costs you something.
Right. Withholding information.
Or kind. Maybe being brutally honest feels more effective than being kind, even if it damages the relationship. THINK forces you to pause and check. Is this about my ego? Or is it actually building something constructive, building trust?
It shifts you from just like transactional truth to relational truth.
Well put, yeah.
Okay. And to even get to that kind of honesty or to hear the truth about ourselves, maybe we need less noise. The other lost art seemed to be about quiet, stillness.
Yes, the power of quiet. It seems counterintuitive in our hyper-connected, always-on world, but think about Nolan Bushnell,
The video game inventor, Atari founder.
the guy who basically invented Pong. Deeply familiar with speed, noise, innovation, he said his biggest ideas didn't come in frantic brainstorming sessions.
Where'd they come from?
He said they came from taking a deep breath, leaving the building, and taking a nice long walk in the sunshine down to get some ice cream.
Huh. Love that.
Yeah.
Just stepping away completely.
It wasn't about being lazy or idle, it was choosing a different kind of mental activity, a receptive one.
Makes sense.
There's that quote too, the quieter you become, the more you can hear. And that's not just about sound volume.
Right. It's about signal versus noise in your head, in your life.
Exactly. When you're constantly in that competitive hustle, the noise of striving, achieving, comparing, it just drowns out the quieter signals.
Like intuition or clarity on bigger questions.
Yeah, or even just figuring out what actually matters to you beyond the job title or the paycheck. That stuff needs quiet space to surface.
And interestingly, the sources link this quiet time back to efficiency, which is something the competitive mindset does value. Dave Draper's point.
Oh, right, that time is not lost, only misplaced.
They'd be replaced by understanding and time-saving lessons. So what looks like unproductive downtime.
It actually generates the insights that prevent future mistakes. It makes your active time much more effective. That quiet walk saves you wasted effort down the line.
So it all circles back. Drucker's multiple anchors, Aurelius's flexibility, Robbins' focus on becoming, the need for honesty, the power of quiet.
Synthesizing all that, the main takeaway for you, the listener, seems pretty clear. Real resilience, that ability to bounce back and thrive, it's built through multiplicity.
Not putting all your eggs in one basket.
Pretty much. When your identity, your sense of worth, is spread across multiple anchors, your career, sure, but also that non-competitive service, those honest relationships, that essential quiet time.
Then if one area gets shaky, like the job plateau,
The others hold you steady. They give you perspective, stability.
it seems like true mastery, the really successful people in the long run, they kind of transcend just competing. Earl Nightingale noticed that, right?
Yeah, his observation that the higher you go in any field, the nicer they become.
Why is that, do you think?
Maybe because the real masters stopped obsessing about beating the other guy years ago. They shifted their focus to contribution, to mastery of their craft for its own sake. Their competition is with their own potential.
So these principles, honesty, flexibility, becoming, multiplicity, they aren't just like consolation prizes if you don't win the main race.
Absolutely not. They are the foundation for a rich, meaningful life, no matter what happens externally. They let you define success on your own terms, independent of promotions or market shifts.
So what's the challenge for us then? For our ambition, we still have that drive, right?
Of course. The sources aren't saying ditch ambition. They're saying channel it. Use that hustle muscle, as one source put it.
Yeah.
But hustle for growth, for contribution, for becoming more fully yourself, not just for accumulating more stuff or a higher rank.
By focusing there on contribution and becoming, you're kind of future-proofing yourself against that vulnerability Drucker saw.
You got it. You build an internal structure that's solid, even when the external definitions of success change or stall out, which they inevitably do for almost everyone at some point.
Okay, so that leaves us with the final thought, something for you to maybe chew on after this.
Go.
If your whole definition of success boils down to winning just one game, getting that title, that salary, that market share, what's left? I mean, what depth of character have you actually built to make that win truly meaningful or even worth sharing with others?
That's a powerful question.
Maybe it's the daily practice, the reflection, the
Yeah.
quiet walk, the honest talk, the helping out in that non-competitive space. Maybe that's what builds the wisdom and perspective you need to live a complete life, whatever the final score might be.